get the motivation to achieve your goals by having a vision that excites you and making noticeable, consistent progress towards it. You'll never be motivated to do something you're not interested in, and you cannot possibly stay motivated unless the exciting reality of achieving your goals is edging increasingly closer.
Let's break it down.
You've got Donnie Do-It-All, who wants to become a bodybuilder. So he's decided that he's going to do 100 push-ups every single day. He's excited by his goal, so he's got the motivation to do so. However, after a number of days, the 100 push-ups just isn't cutting it. Technically, it's moving him closer towards his goal, so should give him motivation. But in reality, it's never going to get him to where he wants to go. And so from that, we can take away that you need to make meaningful progress towards your goals in order to receive the motivation that is associated with that. You stay motivated with the joy achieving your goals would give you, and by the elation you feel with each tantalizing step in the right direction. But there's more to it than simple motivation. Discipline has a role to play too. But before that, let's engage in a thought experiment. Have you ever noticed the amount of miserable people there are in society? Just take the bus once in a while, and I'm sure you'll find a few case studies. I can't help but think it's due to people failing to invest in their futures. People seem miserable today because life didn't get better for them. Their bodies are falling apart after years of neglect, financially barren, living week to week because they didn't think to learn how to generate income. You probably know someone burying their head in the sand, their mind off in a vacant land. I think if we're honest with ourselves, it's not just the people on the bus. Surprisingly, some people's entitlement grows alongside their misery. Not only do these hypothetical people find themselves in painful positions, but they also show no ability to take responsibility for it. They expect everybody around them to pick up the pieces. They behave as if they were never in control, absolving themselves of all responsibility and any chance of ever doing anything about it. In fact, I'm consistently astonished at the number of people with next to nothing to show for all of their work. It's as if they've lived without any idea or inclination that one day they would get older, as if saving money was never something that would benefit them in life. Getting old costs money. But it's not just that. They stop learning too and become intellectually poor. You can pick them out because they tend to be selfish conversationalists. Because of their discontent and dissatisfaction with life, they're so hyper-focused on their current pain. They're not able to avert their attention away for long enough to form reciprocal relationships. I think if we're all honest, we've all been there to some extent. I'm sure that they're just doing the best with what they've been given. I just think there's so much wasted potential in humanity. And I often reflect on the fact that if I'm not careful, I could end up in the exact situation. Something akin to a burden to others. That's not to point the finger unnecessarily, just to illustrate that there's an obvious flaw in failing to think ahead. So what are you supposed to do about it? I think most people know exactly what they should be doing about it, but far fewer have the motivation to do it. Is the answer to somehow garner endless motivation? I think that's precisely what we need to do. Motivation can move mountains. However, motivation only manifests when we're doing what we want to do. You never get motivation for something you absolutely don't want to do. And motivation only lasts for so long. The moment the task becomes too difficult or you can't see it eventuating, motivation dissipates into the ether. You also need to have discipline, which is a byproduct of your habits. You just need the motivation long enough to establish your habits, then discipline will take over, and then you will do it, regardless of the volatility of your reckless emotions. So do what you want to do authentically. I know that sounds like a stupid throwaway thing to say because, of course, people would be living the way that they wanted to if they could. But I think the reason that they don't is because they don't know that they can. What does authenticity actually mean though? In this context, it means being honest about the things that you like and not pretending to like the stupid things that you hate. Do you love your occupation? Most of your life is spent at work. If you hate what you do most of the time, then by extension, you hate most of your life. That is absolutely vile. And if that is the case, are you at least working towards something better? If all of that sounded like a screaming cat defecating on your driveway, then either you've achieved your goals already or you're avoiding having to deal with the reality of your situation. If your head is rife with excuses for why you have to do all of these things that you hate, then you're living your life for other people and it's clearly not making you happy. These people will not take responsibility for the pain that you feel now or into the future. Besides, you're no good to people when you're not at your best, which living as a character in a scripted play is certainly not going to bring out of you. At least cut out all of the things that you hate. All that I am trying to do is instill a little bit of urgency within you, not anxiety, urgency. Even if you are on track, take this as a gentle reminder that even the slightest deviation from your path right now can lead to a multitude of difference in your end destination. You'll never meet anyone that regrets living their dreams. You get the motivation to achieve your goals by having a vision that excites you and making consistent progress towards it.